Thank you, Mr. Chairman. To Chairman Graves, who I know is outside here, but also to Ranking Member Larson, it's great to be back in 2167 Rayburn again. I had the privilege of serving on the Transportation Infrastructure Committee in the 118th Congress, and I'm proud of the work that we were able to accomplish together. I want to present 5 priorities that I hope this committee will consider this Congress. The first is ensuring that the FAA releases its overdue notice of proposed rulemaking on beyond visual line of sight operations for unmanned aerial aircraft systems as soon as possible. One of our committee's key accomplishments last Congress was the bipartisan FAA reauthorization. Unfortunately, this notice of proposed rulemaking was due September 16th of 2024. That deadline, of course, has come and gone. It's one of many missed opportunities that former Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg left for the current Secretary, Sean Duffy. This Congress, the expiration of the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, or IJA, looms large. I wasn't in the House when IJA passed, but I participated in a number of oversight hearings. And it's clear that IJA's results did not live up to its promises. I have 3 priorities that I believe will make the next surface transportation bill a success. First, streamline the grant agreement process as much as possible and require public reports on grant agreement progress across programs to ensure and drive accountability. Secretary Buttigieg's crippling bureaucracy got in the way of putting shovels in the ground. It's no wonder Secretary Duffy was saddled with a backlog of 3,200 projects that were announced but not executed on. A valuable oversight tool was the department's monthly reports on grant agreements under the Rebuilding American Infrastructure with Sustainability and Equity, or RAISE program. As of the last available report, November 2024, only 224 of 414 grant agreements, just over half, were executed for grants awarded in fiscal years 2021, 2022, and 2023. It's absolutely unacceptable for projects to wait upwards of 3 years to get the green light from the Secretary, especially in a time of high inflation. You might think projects highlighted in the department's press releases got a little extra attention. They did not. Only 9 of the 23 RAISE projects, 39%, highlighted in the fiscal year 2021, 22, and 23 press releases had an executed grant agreement as of November 2024 progress report. Too often, Secretary Buttigieg seemed content to bask in the fanfare of the announcement, only to leave the project stuck at the starting line. My next IJA priority is to dramatically scale back discretionary grants in favor of formula funding. IJA expanded discretionary grants by 500%. But Indiana ranked dead last on a per capita basis in securing these grants. Apparently the Hoosier State maybe just needed some better connections in the department. And while some of the responsibility lies with project selection and design, the department had a large scale too. For example, a local entity that was passed over for a planning grant to study a grade separation at a dangerous railroad was told in a debrief by the Department of Transportation that the project might have scored higher had they included a plan for EV charging. States know where it's best to allocate infrastructure money for local needs, not bureaucrats in Washington that think railroad overpasses need EV chargers. Speaking of which, I urge the committee to end IJA's failed EV charging programs. The $5 billion National Electric Vehicle Infrastructure, or NEVI, and the $2.5 billion Charging and Fueling Infrastructure, or CFI programs, again had lofty promises. But in over 3 years, NEVI stood up only about 60 stations and CFI only 3. Here too, the Secretary gummed up the process through rigid regulations and burdensome DEI requirements. But the federal government shouldn't be involved in constructing EV charging stations in the first place. According to the Joint Office of Energy and Transportation, there were 12,000 public charging ports added in the fourth quarter of 2024 alone. In 3 years, NEVI and CFI built approximately 300. My final priority is to ensure agencies refocus on their core missions. The Biden administration infused its woke DEI agenda into agencies, often at the expense of their core functions. For example, the Deputy Administrator for the Pipeline and Hazardous Materials Safety Administration, or PHMSA, tried to brand the safety agency as a, quote, climate agency. FEMA changed its #1 strategic goal from build a culture of preparedness to instill a culture of equity as a foundation of emergency management. These pointless word games add nothing of substance. They only waste time and distract from the core missions. Our federal agencies need to get back to the basics. Thank you for having me testify today, and with that, Mr. Chairman, I yield back.